Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So for this video, I want to talk about the differences between a black man who truly loves black women and a black man who simps for black women. So the black man who loves black women, he shows love and appreciation. He shows the black woman respect. Even if he disagrees with the black woman, he does it in a respectful and dignified way. Even if he has criticism for a black woman, he again does it out of love, out of appreciation, out of respect. And he does it in a dignified way. Now, the simp, on the other hand, basically places the black woman on a pedestal. The simp, on the other hand, basically views the black woman as practically like a godlike figure, and he views himself as her humble little servant. And they won't outright say this, but that's in all actuality what they do and how they behave. And some of them go so far as to literally say the black woman is God, which is absolutely absurd and ridiculous. Another difference between the two is that the man who loves the black woman enough to be honest with her. You know, he's honest in his dealings with her, honest in his communications with her, honest about his feelings toward her, his reactions toward her are honest and genuine. The simp, on the other hand, lies to black women. The simp, on the other hand, says only the things that he knows will please the black woman, even if it's outright false, even if he knows good and damn well that what he's saying is wrong, even if he knows that it's an exaggeration, he is willing to say and do anything to win the favor and attention of black women. So he is willing to lie at all costs. And we've seen examples of lying to women, you know, simps lying to women. And a prime example of that would be, that guy, Derek Jackson. He basically told women everything that they wanted to hear, and basically following the rules of the 48 laws of power, he basically became black women's fantasy. He played up to their fantasies by telling them everything that they wanted to hear. And while he was presenting this false image to the world, while he was presenting this false message to the world, in real life, this man was everything but the person that he presented to the public. He did everything but follow his own advice when it comes to dealing with women. This man, despite presenting himself as this, Prince Charming and Mr. Perfect and all that kind of stuff, this man had a long track record of cheating on his wife, mistreating his wife and all that kind of stuff. So that's an example of lying to women, and, not only lying to his wife, but lying to his woman, his primarily woman audience. And you have other examples of this, and I could go on and on about that. Another difference between the simp and the black man who loves black women is that the black man who loves black women holds women accountable. He expresses his true concerns. And this is kind of connected to the point about honesty. So if you love someone, you are willing to offer them advice that is beneficial to them. You are willing to let them know when they do wrong and when they do right. You're willing to celebrate their achievements, their accomplishments, recognize those things, but you're also there to offer constructive criticism if they do things wrong. That's what a person who loves someone does. That's what a friend does. That's what your mate should do, your husband or your wife. They should act in that kind of way. Give you sincere advice. Let you know whether you're doing right or wrong, and do it out of love. The simp, on the other hand, doesn't believe in holding women accountable for anything, doesn't believe in criticizing women for anything. The simp actually defends bad conduct by women. And you see this all the time. There are countless examples of this. For instance, when women engage in debauchery and foul conduct, you have simps that will defend that kind of stuff. Simps, for instance, who defended Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B when they performed that song, "There's Some Hoes in This House." Promoting this ratchet image of black women to the whole damn world, and basically encouraging our young women to follow that example. Instead of calling that kind of stuff out, the simp made excuses for it. The simp used terms like sexually liberated. The simp, said that, black men were trying to police black women. All that kind of stuff. That's the language of the simp. That is how the simp operates. The simp's role is to make excuses for women. His role is to defend women unconditionally under any and all circumstances. Another example of the simp is the example of, these women, for instance, that are into quote unquote swirling, these women that have these disparaging remarks to make about black men. The simp is the one defending these types of women. The simp is the one inviting these types of women on their programs and, heaping praise on these kinds of women, making excuses for these kind of women. That's how the simp behaves. The simp is the type that leaves comments like some of the comments that I've seen here on YouTube and even on TikTok, where people literally defend black women who disparage the dead. They come up with all kinds of excuses and rationalizations for that kind of foul behavior. They're quick to call out that kind of stuff when it comes from men, but when it comes to women, they defend that stuff. They make excuses for that stuff. They come into comment sections of videos done by men to attack those men for raising the question of decency, of raising the question of having class and integrity and stuff. So yeah, the simp unconditionally defends and supports all women and doesn't hold any women accountable for anything. In fact, the simp is so in tune with femininity that the simp is basically like a virtual woman in some ways. The simp has, a lot of these simps have like feminine characteristics. They have a feminine outlook and they basically act like women, like some women. And so they basically act as if they are the very women that are being criticized, and they respond as such. Another difference between the simp and the black man who genuinely loves and appreciates black women is that the black man who's genuine, the black man who truly loves black women, that black man doesn't operate from ulterior motives. That black man, when he says something, when he does something for black women, it's out of true love. Like if he does a video praising black women or even offering constructive criticism, it's out of love. He's motivated primarily by love. He's not motivated by some kind of hidden agenda or some hidden objective. He's motivated by his genuine love for black women and his genuine love for black people. The simp, on the other hand, has an ulterior motive. The simp is saying what he's saying to win the approval of women. He's saying it to win the attention of women. He's saying it to please women. He's saying it so that he can sleep with some women. And in the worst case scenario, he's saying it even though he doesn't even believe it so that he can make money off of women. So he can sell t-shirts to women. So he can sell all kinds of products to women so that he can get views on his YouTube channel. That's how the simp operates. He operates from an ulterior motive. And that's part of the reason why a lot of women don't even respect simps, because they know that they have an agenda. They know that they're not genuine. They know that they're up to something. So that's part of the reason why, women don't even respect simps. And most men don't respect simps. And simps don't even respect themselves. So another difference between the simp and the black man who truly loves black women is that the black man who is a simp is basically a doormat. The simp lets women exploit him. The simp lets women use him. The simp lets women walk all over him, literally like a doormat. That's what a simp does. So just as the simp will defend all kinds of foul behavior, make excuses for it, he actually makes excuses in his own relationships and tolerates, being pimped or, exploited by his significant other. The black man who's genuine, who has genuine love for black women, first of all, he loves himself enough to respect himself enough not to tolerate, that kind of disrespect. He is willing to let a woman know exactly how he feels about situations in a dignified and respectful way, even if that means that he has to walk away from that woman, even if it means that he has to leave that woman and leave that relationship. He loves himself enough that he is willing to lose that woman. And he is willing to move on. The genuine man that has genuine love loves himself enough to not have like a scarcity mindset. And basically, the black man who loves himself and loves his women, he can speak out against misogyny without being a simp. He has the courage to speak out against misogyny, but he also is not simping. He's not